Okay. Hi, Martha. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Nathan. How are
Good.
you?
Good. Very good. Good to have you here.
It's my pleasure. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. How was your morning so far?
It's a Saturday, a beautiful weather, I guess.
Yeah.
Quite busy, I think. I think for a morning, Saturday morning, but I
Yeah.
really thought it would be like relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so far so beautiful, I think.
Okay. What's
Yeah.
a beautiful morning in Namibia? Is it like when it's hot or when the sun is not too shiny?
A beautiful morning in Namibia is like today, where it's a little bit cloudy, but obviously it's summertime and also rainy season. I think I don't know what season it is now because
Yeah.
it's a little bit confusing. But for me, a beautiful morning is when it's cloudy, it's not too hot at least, and it's not too sunny because I prefer my sunny times in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it sets, that's when like I prefer that kind of sunny when the sun is setting. It's like the
Yeah.
best for
We
me.
get a lot of sun in Namibia, so
Yeah,
we
no,
kind
it's pretty hot. Yeah.
of yeah. Okay. So usually I get intrigued by people that have different careers, or maybe that, most people have one single thing they're doing. And most of the time when you meet someone for the first time, they would say, like, who is this person? What does this
Yeah.
person do? And they would expect an answer like, no, that's a doctor, that's a teacher, just one single thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
sometimes you find people like you, because I think people are very versatile. There's a lot of things that
Yeah,
you can do.
that's
You
true.
can't just be one single
So,
thing. Like you are an engineer, and you're also the Miss Earth for Namibia.
yeah. Yeah.
And to me, that's like two different extremes.
Yeah.
It's like for engineering, you need to be very, very practical. And like when you doing advocacy, when you're doing public,
Yeah.
standings, you need to be a little more social. How do you balance those two?
So I think it all starts with sort of like a passion because then it's intertwined in a way because with the thank you.
Thank you.
With the engineering, the career itself is more of okay, this is where I belong. This is finding my peace, finding my foot, and also doing it for family because when you're growing up, you're told you need to study, you need to find yourself in education, you need to find yourself a career because that's how you're going to survive.
Yeah.
And then after that, or during my career, rather, I found sort of like a hobby, something that I like to do. And then when I started now pursuing this hobby of pageantry, basically sort of like walking, I love walking, but it comes with such a responsibility of advocacy and changing lives. So then sort of like made it easier for me to get into the modeling industry, sort of like to understand that okay, I have a purpose apart from engineering, but also it's the same thing. It's almost one and the same in a way because you are trying to break some sort of stereotypes that were in the past when it comes to engineering. You're supposed to be masculine, you're supposed to look like a man, you need to wear
Yeah.
boots all the time, you need to wear safety, whatever. So then it's a thing of you can be an engineer but still be feminine. You can be an engineer but still look like a woman, not allow yourself to look like a man or not do other things that women should actually be doing. Okay, no, not must do, but can do.
Okay.
That type of thing. So it's sort of like breaking stereotypes, but also making it easy for anyone else that want to come in the industry. Not like okay, I want to do engineering, but I don't want to look like a man. So let's not make it like a man thing, but you can be an engineer and look sassy, those type of things.
I see. Nice. Okay. Were you always planning to be an engineer? Is that the one thing? Were you interested in maths and stuff like that?
So when I was in university or rather high school, there wasn't anyone because I schooled in the village in the northern part of Namibia. Grew up with my grandmother, just a little background. So growing up, there wasn't really anybody to look up to say, okay, this woman is an engineer and she's quite an inspiration for me. So let me not lie, I never had that. So
Okay.
but I wanted to do something technical. I wanted to do something different from what I saw in my community. So then this woman came to our school. She was actually a student. She came to our school back then. It was Onga Secondary School. So she did geology. And then I was like, okay, I want to do something in that line.
This was
Maybe.
high school.
Yeah, this was high school. So I want to do something in that line, something technical, but I obviously don't know what does the university offer. So then also with regards to results, you're like, okay, when you get this type of results, you kind of like have to go in this type of fields and stuff like that, which was also sort of like unwritten, unspoken rules with people who are not exposed to different careers that you can actually do when you're in high school, that you can do in university, you can pursue rather. So then I was like, okay, maybe I can do engineering or I can do geology. But at that time, I think the thing that mostly caught my eye was obviously engineering. So then I applied for engineering. I applied for pharmacy, but when I applied for pharmacy, I knew I didn't even like biology and I didn't like medicine.
Yeah.
I was scared of the hospital. I don't like seeing people in pain and blood and stuff. So then engineering was the first thing that obviously I got admitted to. So I went to pursue it.
Nice. How difficult is engineering? Because I have a lot of friends that say, they get excited before they do it, but when they start doing it, it's like they complain a lot. Do you have the same experience?
Engineering is like that relationship that you're in. It's bad, but it's satisfying. If you know what I mean. It's more like
Okay.
I don't know how to put it. It's like you're suffering, but it's
necessary.
good suffering. I don't know because there's going to be a light
payoff
at the end of the tunnel. It's going to pay off. It's going to be a good reward for you. So you just keep on keeping on. You keep on doing it. It's hard in a sense, in a way, but also a good kind of hard because you still make it.
Mm-hmm.
You are struggling, but you're making it. So I think that is how hard engineering is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so from engineering, how did you what was the jump to become a public figure? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay, so when I finished my studies from university, I never actually took part in any competitions because I was very scared of competitions. I was scared of losing. So then it's a thing of, okay, let me face my fears. Let me try something. I swear I never even played games in school.
Really?
Because I was just like, if I lose, what's going to happen? How will I feel? So it's a thing of, I haven't explored my curiosity, basically. I haven't gone into that thing of, okay, let's see what happens then if I try this. So I never done it. I never did pageantry. So then after I left university, then I also got some sense of freedom to say, okay, I can do other things. I mean, school gave me this pressure and let me try something else. So I did. And then I thought to myself, I don't want to be just an ordinary individual. I don't want to be just a normal person because normal is also boring, So then I decided, okay, let me try pageantry. And the first one I did was Miss Namibia. I applied for Miss Namibia. I didn't really make it through because I ended up in top 30, but also didn't really make it any further. So then I realized that, okay, with regards to pageantry, it's either I do pageantry or politics, but I'm not into politics. And that's the only way I felt like that was the only way I could make a difference in my community because those are the things that I would be interested in and I also be passionate about. So pageantry then allowed me to make a change with regards to my advocacy, with regards to community, because I was really passionate about volunteerism and it's community based, basically sort of like. So that is how I moved into pageantry, and then it came with a lot of things. It came with you being recognized in the public, it came with what is now labeled as public figure or a speaker or whatever. And then I also had a mentorship program that then I used this platform to say not only change my life, but also to impact other people that are like looking at me and say, I want to be like that one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of person do you have to be comfortable with, public spaces? Would you say you're much of an introvert, or are you comfortable? Were you naturally comfortable with people socially?
Honestly, naturally, I am an introvert.
Really?
I'm an extroverted introvert. So my personality is outside, but my life and because I'm a little bit shy as well, and I'm very awkward. But I think the awkwardness comes with the career because we are almost all similar in a sense that you are just very awkward person. You find people, then you're like, okay, do I have to talk to them, or must I really have a conversation with them? So then that is also one thing that I had to improve on and work on myself in that aspect, because in my natural self, I can't even start a conversation in my natural self, in my
Really?
comfort. I would just sit there. If, like, let's say there's a gathering, I would sit there in my little bubble and just look at the people, or even be on my phone. That's my natural state. So I had to then refine that and allow myself to basically explore other parts of me, to be able to start to strike a conversation with anyone that I find there, or just sort of like position myself, expose myself to different environments that allow me then to get out of my comfort zone. So I think what one needs is basically sort of like, yeah, you need to be yourself, but let's be honest, you don't need to be yourself. You need to refine yourself basically to sort what you want to do. Yeah.
It's funny because they usually say the thing that you're afraid of, it's almost like where your passion is, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you find people that do what they do, like you, for instance. People would be surprised if you say you're an introvert, because what you're doing is like things extroverted people do. Well, it's almost like you saw that was a space that you need to fix, you know, and then you set yourself in that direction to fix it.
Yeah.
Let's say you're young. You want to get into like the Miss Namibia pageant thing.
Yeah.
What are the steps to actually do that?
There isn't really any steps to say, but rather how to prepare yourself. Maybe it's more of, you need to have a niche. What is it that you're about? You need to know what is your passion, what is your purpose. Basically, you have to, but also it's a journey where you get to figure out what your passion is. It's a journey of self-discovery, and it's also a journey of understanding what can you do, what change can you actually make in your community, or just in your life in general. It's a platform that sort of like allow you to do all that stuff. So I think it all starts with yourself. What are you passionate about? Because when I started with Miss Namibia, I thought, because I had a real estate business, and I thought, let me do Miss Namibia so that I can market my business, so that people can know me. But obviously that didn't take me anyway.
It's a good strategy.
Yeah, because then you're like, okay, what is your purpose? What are you passionate about? Are you here to be known, or are you here to make a difference in your life and other people's lives? So then that's where one draw a line. It's basically your purpose, and the purpose that you're going there with, even if you don't say it, it will get exposed, because then you don't make it anyway. Your focus is on this specific thing. Okay, I want to be known, I want to be famous, I want to do this. But you also don't really get it. Maybe you will get it, depending on how much effort you put in, but also they will reach through you. You can lie in their faces and be like, I'm passionate about volunteerism. But if you're not, if you really are here to be known, if you really are here just to make your business known, like what I did, it will be read through your eyes, it will be read through your mouth, it will be read through the work that you're doing. So it all starts with your passion. What are you passionate about? And Miss Namibia obviously is an organization that is all about beauty with a purpose, you know. You can't just be beautiful. You need to have a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And are you here to grow yourself, or to grow yourself through others? Are you here to grow others through yourself, or are you here to just grow yourself? So it's all about what are you passionate about? What is your purpose? And how do you want to change the things that you don't want to see in your environment? Because they really say you have to be the change that you want to see.
Yeah.
So that's the platform. For me, I believe that Miss Namibia is a platform that sort of like allow you to be the change you want to see, because then it gives you this huge platform to just, there's support, there's coverage, there's almost everything that you get from there. Yeah.
For an example, what was your purpose? What did you present to them?
So yeah, with my purpose, right, I have this, my purpose lies with 3 pillars, basically. There's community development, there's youth empowerment, and then environmental awareness. So, okay, most of it, I refined it through the journey of being a Miss Earth Namibia, and also with Miss Namibia. So, but all in all, I think my main one has always been personal development, but also personal development in the sense that I get to help others develop themselves where I started a mentorship program called Kunchona Mentorship. Then we are mentoring young boys and girls in university, first and second years, who are doing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's where my main goal lied, and it still is there. So then after that, I have what is called volunteerism. Then I go into the community where I help the underprivileged people to be noticed and to be supported. Maybe the ones that I cannot support, then I ask other Samaritans to say, you know what, there's this group of maybe orphanages that need support. Let's do this and that and that. So that's my role in community development, basically. And then the other one is environmental awareness. That this one started off when I became the Miss Earth Namibia. Yeah, basically sort of like just to be able to, because I know I was environmentally conscious, but when I got on the journey, then it also just sort of like opened my eyes to another extent. And I don't expect people to, because most of the times I have this thing of like, people do know that it's not right to litter, but it's not in the consciousness.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I need to create environmental consciousness into people just as much as I managed to have it in myself. Because then you know that it's not right to litter, but you just like, where will I drop this? You just drop it there. So then that's how I started off with environmental awareness, to say, you know, we can do education around this with my social media platform or with the platform itself, and educate the people, or get on different projects around the community, especially for Windhoek, for example, where Windhoek wants to still be the cleanest city, you know, or the green city. And it's basically sort of like those initiatives that I'm like interested into supporting. And then I have a Donate a Tree campaign where we are planting trees to different schools, open public spaces, as well as orphanages, basically. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, yeah, issues like the environment, it's very difficult for youngsters and the youth to actually be concerned about that, because all people know is just don't litter, that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what are some environmental factors that really concerns you that you think people don't really pay
Yeah.
attention to?
Okay, for example, for Namibia, Africa to be specific, is a thing of climate change, right? But when I talk to people about climate change, I like to tell them about the heat that we're experiencing. This is not normal heat.
It's not normal.
Yeah, it's a thing of like, you know, the heat you're experiencing when you are breathing, but you're breathing in hot air. I like to put it that way, because then climate change is quite broad. And there's a lot of factors involved, and there's also this thing of, okay, we're not the main contributors and stuff like that, but we also have a role to play to make it a better space for all of us as a world, as a nation, as the earth. So the main one for me, explaining what climate change is, basically sort of like telling the people that, you know, the patterns we're experiencing right now of rain, it's not normal. It's not something that has been there. If you look back in the history, this is how the world was. It was so beautiful. It was green. We had all the seasons, but now you are in summer, you are experiencing rain, or you are in autumn, but it's just so hot, you know, all these type of things. Basically sort of like the change in patterns that are like really unordinary. And then we have the main one also is hunger that we have in Namibia, and lack of rain, or lack of water rather, water scarcity. And basically it all rounds up to, what do we have? What are we suffering from? And it all starts with climate change. But what we are experiencing is the consequences of climate change in itself. Basically the aftermath of it, lack of rain, drought in our country, animals are dying. So I like to make it that aspect, to say animals are dying not because of God is angry. It's as we're contributing to these things. We are the ones contributing to it, with either with littering or in carbon emissions and stuff like that. So basically sort of like understanding what climate change is, but making it easier to understand with what people are experiencing. And I like to say that the youth, I think we're the most people affected by climate change. We're born in it, we're experiencing it, and it must be right for us to also find solutions to it. If not find solutions, at least be involved with the solutions that are being brought up to the table. So that's how I like to put it, mostly when it comes to that.
Things like climate change, it sounds like huge problems, you know, and most of the time when people hear of problems that are that big, they think it's not the government would take care of that, you know. What could a normal person like do to be environmental friendly?
So it all starts with little practices, right? And little practices starts with different individuals, myself, yourself, anyone else, sort of like to understand that you can be part of the solution. Number one, giving education or letting people know what climate change is, and letting people know that climate change is not just caused by the big industries, because we also have this thing of, like right now, one comment I've heard was, we are not the biggest contributors to climate change. Matter of fact, we contribute very little, but the big industry countries are the ones that are contributing the most, especially the fuel countries and stuff like that, fossil fuel countries and stuff like that. So, but it's a thing of understanding that, well, we are here now. It's not about who did it. It's about how do we collectively work together to actually find a solution to this. I mean, there's no way we're going to reverse it, but we have to mitigate it, make it better for ourselves. So I like to normally put it like, okay, what you can do as an individual, as a young person. Number one, sustainable fashion, for example. I like to say sustainable fashion in the sense that re-wearing is the new core, you know. You need to re-wear your clothes. Basically sort of like making it fashionable, in the sense that re-wearing things doesn't always mean you don't have. It basically means you are being sustainable with the environment. It's being sustainable with your money. Because number one, you're benefiting the environment, and in the end, we are all happier.
So it's bad to have a lot of clothes.
It's bad to have a lot of clothes. Why are you having so many clothes? Matter of fact, so one time I did this of wearing one skirt for the whole week.
Okay.
It's a challenge that I tried to do earlier last month, and I was like, who is in? I got 5 people that were interested in it, and then I was like, okay, let's do this. So I wore this one specific skirt every day. It was so difficult, but in the end, also it saves you time, it saves you money, and also just to feel good that you are a part of a solution.
Would you think that women would have more difficulty with that? Because I think for guys, it's like we can have one single jean for like a week.
Yeah.
You know? Would you think it's something that women would sort of
Definitely,
need to be more...
because I was like, damn, wearing one skirt, this is weird. Like, what am I doing? But it's not just that. It's also a thing of recycling your clothes. Maybe clothes that you used to have, instead of trashing it down, you can change it up. If it was a skirt, maybe you can add a pattern to your skirt, or if it's some old fabric that you have, you can take it to the designer and add it together just to mix it up, you know. So that's basically sort of like I liked. And when I went to Miss Earth, for example, I was advocating for that sustainable fashion that we have here in Namibia. People using the old fabrics to make new fabric, or going in your mother's closet and take back those outfits just to, you know, rewear the clothes that are already into existence instead of buying new ones, because fast fashion is really killing us. And then also another thing is solutions like walking instead of driving. Like for me, from work to home, I would prefer rather walking and not driving, you know, just to make it be part of something simple as deciding, let me not drive, let me rather walk, because then that's minus 1,000 carbon emission problems, you know, that we could have. And then another one is also just okay, I'm now looking at my life practices, basically taking the stairs instead of the elevator, for example, or just don't print out paper. Use your phone, digital. The world has gone digital. It's part of the solution. And
how does taking the stairs instead of the elevator, is that for your benefit? Like you're more healthier?
Number one is for your benefit. Number two is also just good, because then the less people use the elevator, the less electricity we are using, and the less it's basically production of electricity, for example, we are having. And it's just these little steps. Decide to eat organic. Decide to not dump trash just anyway. Put it, assort your trash. Things that you can recycle, glass and what. Don't put it together with paper. If you have, like, for example, people who are living in the villages, paper, you can burn it, but not plastic. So it's really those little things. Bottles, for example, don't throw the bottle. Recycle the bottle. Use it for something else. Decorate your house, or make water or something. Just basically sort of like those little things that you can do in your personal capacity, basically. You don't even need large industries. You don't need a group of people. It's just yourself.
Tiny changes. Yeah. As a Miss Namibia pageant, you guys get to travel quite a bit, right? Yeah,
we do.
What was your favorite country, most interesting country?
No, but we don't really travel because of Miss Namibia. But it's also just the thing of, I would rather say the aftermath of being a Miss Namibia queen, for example. I traveled to Vietnam to go represent Namibia for Miss Earth. And that was like one of the biggest experience because I've never been there before. It was my first time being in Asia, but I went there because of Miss Namibia. And then after Miss Namibia, after I went to Miss Earth, then I saw myself being invited to different platforms. Basically, one of them was South Africa. I had to go speak there. Recently, I was in Zambia. Basically, last month I was in Zambia to be a judge, for example. So I think my favorite country was, I went to Finland, but not because of Miss Namibia.
Okay.
But also because of Miss Namibia.
Okay, let's
That
say in
one,
general, like in general.
yeah, but the rest like
like
my favorite because then I was experiencing snow for the first time. I really loved it. It's beautiful. It's clean. It's green.
So you like the cold?
I wanted to experience snow, I guess, but it
Okay.
was a thing of okay. First 5 days I was good, and then after that I'm like, you know what? I'm out. I like my country better. I like my
Wow,
country better. I
okay.
prefer the heat.
Yeah. Also Finland
Yeah.
because it was snowing. Okay.
But I was also there in the summer. I was also there in the summer, but it's not as hot. It's still really cold, but it was just so much better because we could. It's just so beautiful and natural. We were harvesting blueberries from the forest. We could see the beautiful birds, for example, and it's all preservation of natural resources that we have, and then also sustainable living, basically. Instead of say cutting down the trees, for example, we're having them there. I mean, they are having them there as a beautiful forest. You go there, you hike through the forest, or you harvest the little blueberries, or you look basically at the scenery. Yeah.
Okay. Most of the times, obviously, when you travel a bit, you get to have fun stories to tell people. You know, you have one of those stories.
Okay, cool. So one time, I think the biggest one. Do I have any? Wait. So I went to Angola one time. I
Okay.
think when I went to Angola, I don't want to. This is not intended to degrade Angola. It's just a thing of okay.
Yeah,
I
let's hear it.
understood Angola in
Yeah.
a different, way different one. I went to Angola for the first time, and then I realized that Angola is so beautiful. You know, I'm coming from the northern part of Namibia, so that's like bordering Angola. And then we see the situation there by Chicago, the border of Namibia and Angola. It's not appealing. So then you are having this impression in your head, in your mind that Angola is not giving, is dirty. And then I
Yeah.
decided, you know what, let's go to Angola. When there, Angola is so beautiful. However, I was also I had a realization on the roads, of which when I came back to Namibia, I was like, I appreciate my country. I appreciate the road systems that we have. I appreciate the traffic regulations that we have here because it's not the same over the other side. The other side is a mess. And it's a thing of like, when I came back, I was like, yo, I apologize. Traffic officers of Namibia, I apologize. The
Really?
Ministry of Transport, I apologize. Because then it also just opened my mind to say, you know, you need to appreciate what you have. And only then you travel, you will never understand how beautiful your own country is. Or just appreciate the people of your country, appreciate the things that are done in your country to keep the order, to keep the peace, to keep the stability that you have. So I think that was the most fun story I had when I came back and I was like, I apologize to all the traffic officers.
Yeah, maybe some people need to travel more to see what the differences are, right? What do you do for fun? Are you so engulfed by your career and what you need to do, or do you have some things people would be surprised to know?
I do, not so much, but I
Okay.
play tennis.
Oh, really?
I play tennis. I do swimming. And then I like reading a lot. I read quite a lot, but I don't really get time to do it. But I try to make time to actually read at any chance I get. And then I take care of my 5 plants.
Plant mom.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
a plant mom, yeah. So that's mainly the things that I do. And then the other things are not really fun. It's really keeping up with the society, with the
Yeah, yeah.
community when you serve the people. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun, but not really.
yeah. What's your favorite book? Or what type of books do you read?
The books that I read are mainly the inspirational books. I don't read storybooks. That's as much as I don't watch movies.
Okay.
So I prefer reading the self-teaching books, sort of like
Self-help.
self-assisting,
Yeah.
self-help kind of books. Financials. The one I'm reading now is Handle Your Money Like a Grown Up.
I saw that. Yeah.
Is it Handle Your Money?
Yeah. Handle your money.
Yeah, so something like that. That's the one I'm reading now. And then the other one that I also started reading was how to get what you want at the workplace. Yeah, because I think that one aligns much, because this year I don't really want to do pageantry, but I want to do more on my career, basically, sort of like to grow myself career-wise at work, academics, and also just to improve on where I want to see myself in the next few years with regards to my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you have any career advice for? I know you mentioned something about the certain careers that women don't want to do or are not used to doing.
Yeah.
And like engineering, for instance, because that's obviously it's male dominated. Because I'm not sure if it's because of the simple nature that men have. Well, I'm not sure what exactly is going on there, but obviously, if you were to sort of give advice to do you have a sister?
Yeah, I have some stepsisters.
Stepsister. Okay. If you were to, are they younger than you?
Yeah, two of them are younger. Yeah, I have two young
Okay.
stepsisters.
If you were to give them career advice, what would you tell them?
Honestly, obviously, I would say you need to do engineering.
Why?
Because we need more women in there, and
okay.
it's a life-changing experience. Being engineers are not just engineers. I think say STEM. I like to say STEM because that's the future. That's where we're headed when it comes to career, even improvements, for example. Other than that, really. Find your passion, find your purpose, and because normally what happens is that people do careers because of family, because of you're forced to do it, because it's the only one available. But in all honesty, you can only prosper if it's something that you're passionate about. You can only prosper you can only grow if it's really something that you want to do. You're doing it with an open heart. You're not doing it because you have no other choice. Just like what is happening now with working, for example. I've seen a lot of engineers find themselves in environments that are not really where they wanted to be because of they have no choice. But if you have a choice today to choose what you want to do, I think it's worth everything to try doing that. And it goes the same way with people who say, you didn't get enough points for a thing or career that you really want to do, but now you're gonna divert and do something else because that's the one that is available, that's the one that you kind of like have qualified for. My advice is always to try and position yourself. If it means going back to school, do it. Go back to school and improve your marks and do the exact career that you always wanted to do. If you don't have an idea, reach out to people. There's always someone willing to help, especially when it comes to school. If you're a student, for example, if you're a learner, for example, go to your teachers and ask them to help you identify what are the strongest areas, what do you want to do, what are you passionate about, for example. Because normally we know ourselves through other people. We ask for feedback from other people, basically sort of like to help you understand you and have a better understanding of who you are. And only then you can actually know that I'm passionate about this, I want to do this, or this is where my line is really headed into. Only then you understand that. Yeah, because most of the times you just do something and then later on you go change. That's 5 years down the drain.
A waste of time.
Yeah. You would have been somewhere else, you would have been prospering, but because you did something because of family. I understand the family thing is quite a big deal with the parents, especially people with parents in their lives. It's like, no, you have to do medicine because that's me. But I think that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. What conversations do you enjoy having? I mean, a lot of times I see people and you have an image of what they are or who they are, you know? And obviously if you see someone doing engineering, you think, most of the time what they're doing is just talking about engineering and stuff like that.
Talking about bricks and roads.
No, but there's also some not personal, but there's certain conversations that interest different people.
Yeah.
You know? What is that for you?
For me, I think mine is mainly in Personal development. I like to have conversations. Like I'm not a small talker person.
Okay.
I am very much into what are the ghosts that you face at night. What is happening in your life? Where is your family starting from?
Yeah.
What problems do you have? Those type of things. I really want to go deep into the person I'm having a conversation with. I'm not very much good at what is for dinner, what did you have, what this little small talk. I'm not good at that. So normally I would find myself having conversations really like about what are you passionate about? What career do you want to go into, for example? Why did you choose to actually study what you're studying, or why did you choose to go in the field that you are in now? You know, all these kind of things. And I think right now, especially now in my life, is a thing of mainly growing my career and also helping the next person, or having conversations around what community projects you guys have, for example. How are you guys improving this and that? So I think I find myself having conversations of that now that I'm at this stage. It would have been different obviously 5 years ago. So it also just depends, I think, on what stage of your life you are in. But
Yeah.
I'm mostly interested into the depth of someone. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Is there any question like you feel I haven't asked you?
No, me
Oh,
or you?
you want to ask me? Okay, I was gonna
Yeah,
say you
I
can ask me a
wanna.
question.
Yeah, I wanna ask. What made you do the podcasting?
Mostly, I think for the most part, I've been watching and listening to a bunch of podcasts like regularly, and I've also been interested in sort of like personal growth, self
Yeah,
help,
yeah.
and conversations with different people, and it's almost like the okay, social media is a very necessary tool, obviously, but most of what you see on there is versions of people that they sort of want you to see,
Yeah.
or the versions that are so exciting to post, right?
Yeah,
But let's say, like you would see Martha, obviously, in the best versions of her life. But now it's like sometimes you find someone that sees you as an inspiration,
Yeah.
and they want to know, okay, what were the steps that she took?
To get
Maybe
there.
they can find themselves in that same situation, and if they can align themselves with what you did, you know, it's better to give people sort of like a backstory
Glimpse, yeah.
of the people they admire, you know, and it helps because I think the most informative way to get information is from someone that did it, you know, and then you just try and trace the steps they took.
Yeah, yeah.
In
That's
general,
true.
that was
No,
the
I love the initiative.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be here.
yeah.
So
It's good to have you. Yeah. Okay, so usually we have a conclusion where you give. Will you say any closing words that you
Yeah.
want to say?
I mean, right now, really, I think we are. So let me speak as a country. We are at the season where we also have to understand how we go around things within our country, basically how to get involved into different things. Maybe my advice for anyone out there is really to step out of the house,
Step out of
step
that.
out of the comfort zone, and just get into spaces that allow you to grow, spaces that allow you to expand your reach, expand, because normally people say your network is your net worth nowadays, because it's not about people you know, it's about people who know you, but they will not know you if you are at home. They will
Yeah.
not know you if you're not exposed anyway. If you're not, they will not know you if you don't position yourself in such a way that you get to be known and you also say your story, or you get to say something that someone else can actually use for their own growth. So I think it's really about being the person that you never had, or being the person in your life that you never had. I think that's my message for anyone. I like to put it in a way that be the engineer that you want to see that you never had, or something like that.
That's nice. That's nice. So basically, create the person that you always wished you had. I guess.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
No, that's good. It was good to. Where can people find you if they want to connect you?
Normally, it's my social media platforms. I'm quite active on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, LinkedIn as well. I mean, we met on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm quite impressed. It was like, you were on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is normally the main
Yeah.
the more like the professional side of people.
Yeah.
But I'm found on my socials, normally Instagram or Facebook, but I'm not active on Facebook, but stuff go there. LinkedIn, nah, not Twitter, but all my names everywhere is just my name, Martha Kautanevali info. It's basically sort of like my social media platforms and the names that I use there.
Okay. Yeah, that was awesome. Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much.